Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are strapping in for what is perhaps one of the most intense and chilling deep dives we've taken into a future crime file.
It's a really unsettling one.
It is. We're looking at a case from 2058 New York City, a world that, on the surface, looks perfect. You know, glittering spires, life expectancy is way up, advanced medical care.
But just underneath that polish, you find some of the absolute worst of human depravity. It's a perfect contradiction, isn't it?
It really is.
The source material just forces you to look at this paradox. Here's a society that has, solved so many of its old problems. Guns are banned. Technology handles almost everything.
The streets are described as being coated in glittery frost like a skin suit of diamond dust. Just perfect.
Exactly. Clean, exclusive. And yet, man still kills man. That primal urge to inflict pain, it's still there. This case is just a stark reminder that technology doesn't solve for morality.
No, it doesn't. In this case in particular, it's so meticulously patterned. It blends this really classic, intimate kind of violence with this grand, almost theatrical flair.
Oh, absolutely. The investigation centers on a serial killer who is using a very precise, very symbolic theme from, of all things, a holiday tradition.
The 12 Days of Christmas. It's not just murder, it's a terrifying ritualistic performance.
And this predator, he's targeting a group of people that, ironically, is defined by its search for connection. His victims are all sourced from Personally Yours,
which is this high-end exclusive dating service. It promises to match you with your true love.
the very thing the killer seems to be mocking.
And leading the investigation is Lieutenant Eve Dallas. And look, she is not at her best when this case lands on her desk.
Not at all. The files paint a really clear picture of a cop who's struggling. She's just back from disability leave after a pretty serious injury.
And you can see the toll it's taken. She's wincing, her breathing is painful, and she's fighting this huge psychological trauma.
The source material is brutal about it. It mentions her fighting these mindless shrieks from nightmares about her past. She's really on the edge.
She is so desperate to get back to work. It says she passed her physical by the skin of her teeth.
Because weeks on disability left her feeling edgy and useless. For her, this case isn't just a job.
No.
It's validation. It's proof that she can still function, that she can still hunt. We even get this rare little moment of vulnerability when she signs off with her husband, Rourke, and admits, "I miss you too."
It's a small thing, but it shows how much she needs that anchor. But what she needs even more is the fight itself.
And she gets it. Immediately. The first crime scene is just a horror show.
So let's unpack that. We start in this, exclusive, polished neighborhood, the kind of place designed for total privacy.
The perfect unsuspecting stage.
Exactly. And the moment Dallas walks into Mariana Hawley's apartment, the scene just screams organized violence, not random rage.
Right. The first thing you notice is the deliberate destruction of all the holiday symbols.
Yeah, a small, perfect little Christmas tree just lying on its side. Lights smashed. These delicate angel ornaments are just crushed.
And all the presents, these festively wrapped boxes, are crushed underneath it.
It's such a clear psychological statement. It's the eradication of purity, of that holiday spirit.
And then your focus shifts to the victim, Mariana Hawley herself, and the clues tell this dual story of, extreme violence and meticulous control.
She was strangled, but the bruising around her neck, her wrists, her ankles, it shows she was bound before the real struggle started.
She was fighting for her life. The reports confirm vaginal and anal bruising, but she was immobilized first.
Which leads to the most bizarre part of this, the theatrical component.
The post-mortem grooming. It's just chilling.
Mariana was naked, but someone had carefully applied subtle makeup to her face, darkened her lashes, gave her these festive cherry red lips.
And she wasn't just left there. She was wrapped in this sparkling silver garland, almost artistically. The killer is a stylist. He came prepared to stage the entire scene.
And the props he brought included the very first clue, pinned right in her hair, just above her ear.
A small, glittery tree ornament. A little plump, gilded bird.
And it's Officer Peabody, Dallas's aide, who gets it immediately.
She makes the connection right away, the gilded bird.
Yeah.
It's the partridge in a pear tree.
This isn't just a murder. It's a serial signature. It's day one.
And the terrifying realization just drops on them instantly. There are at least 11 more murders planned.
So this is where the futuristic forensics come in and really show you just how much control this killer has. The tox report, it confirms Mariana wasn't fighting a fully alert attacker. She was tranked.
And not with a heavy sedative. He used a mild, over-the-counter pressure injection, Applied it right to her upper arm.
It's not a knockout dose. It's precise. It was just strong enough to cause dizziness, disorientation.
Muscular weakness. It made her, as the report says, stupid for 10-15 minutes.
And that small window is all he needed. Just enough time to get the bindings on her, make her helpless before the real violence began.
It just shows how much this predator relies on chemistry and surprise.
And that same level of control extends to how he eliminates evidence. He is very, very good at it.
Right. The report noted no viable semen was found. So, condom, obviously. But the real high-tech part is the disinfectant.
Traces of a body disinfectant were found, even in her vagina.
And that's the key contrast, isn't it? He's so meticulous about cleaning up biometric evidence, DNA, semen, all of it. He knows modern forensics.
But he leaves the loud psychological evidence. The garland, the makeup, the pin.
It proves the ritual is everything. The performance is more important than anything else. Avoiding capture is secondary.
And the best lead, the one thing that gives Dallas a real path forward, is the cosmetics.
Right, because they were expensive. High-dollar, natural ingredient stuff.
And the crime scene techs were quick. They realized they did not match Mariana's personal supplies.
Meaning the killer brought his own kit. A professional kit.
It's a signature tool. And it betrays something about his occupation, or at least a very serious hobby.
It's a brilliant mistake, really. He's so focused on the ritual, on beautifying his work, that he leaves behind a product line that can be traced.
Okay, so let's follow that timeline. The investigation immediately jumps to the victim's last hours, and they pull the building's security disks.
And they confirm she spoke to her mother at 6 o'clock, sounded perfectly happy. And then later, she had this flirtatious conversation with a guy named Jeremy Van Doren.
Cherry. So Dallas brings Jerry in, and what's fascinating is how quickly she dismisses him as a suspect, even with his, shaky alibi.
He's just genuinely devastated. He was literally about to propose that night. He had the ring in a little velvet box.
And he'd met Mariana through Personally Yours, said it was an impulse thing after his divorce, but he felt this instant, amazing click with her.
But his alibi is terrible. Textbook unreliable.
Home alone, shopping on his computer, calls his mom late at night. It's nothing.
Yet Dallas's cop intuition, her gut, just tells her it's not him. She knows the killer won't look like the grieving survivor.
Yeah.
The killer is the one who uses performance and props.
And the security footage delivers that performance in spades.
Oh, does. The video, logged at 21.33, it shows a man in full regalia.
Red suit, snowy white beard, Santa Claus.
He's carrying a large silver-wrapped box tied with this elaborate gold and green bow.
And nestled right there in the bow is the little silver tree with the gilded bird, the exact pin for Mariana's hair.
It's a literal prop he used to get in the door.
This is where they realize the psychological genius of the disguise. As Peabody points out, in a secure, high-end building like that...
Who's going to shut the door in Santa's face?
Exactly. It's an instant bypass of all suspicion, all security, and the box, that shiny box that looks like a gift.
It held all of it. The restraints, the cosmetics, the disinfectant, the pin. He tuned the tools of murder into instruments of holiday joy.
And if you look at the timeline, it just underscores the killer's state of mind. He went in at 21.33. The door opened again at 0.3.
Nearly 2.5 hours. This wasn't a quick, frenzied attack. This was methodical, a staged ritual.
And he knows he's being watched. The exit is so chilling.
He leaves, still carrying the box, and he's just smiling. The notes say a madness glowing in his eyes.
And he's dancing as he gets on the elevator.
Pure triumph. Pure ego. He's posing for the camera, performing for whoever finds that footage later. He's demanding to be noticed.
And that terrifying prediction they made comes true very quickly. The pattern escalates. Just a few days later, they find the second victim, Sarabeth Greenbaum.
Right. She's a 43-year-old stripper, a lap dancer at an upscale club called the Sweet Spot.
And of course, the Sweet Spot is a Rourke property. Just a little detail that always annoys Dallas, when her professional life bleeds into her personal one.
And Sarabeth fits that aspirational profile. She moved from Allentown to make it big. She was focused on marrying rich.
And she'd spent $3,000 on Personally Yours, but had just about given up on it, called it a loser investment.
The attack on her confirms the MO is holding absolutely true. She also opened the door to Santa.
And the killer used this personalized dialogue. It shows he studied her profile. He says, "Merry Christmas, Sarabeth. Have you been good?"
Chilling. And the evidence follows the exact same rigid pattern. Restrained, drugged, groomed.
The new pin was 2 birds in a circle, turtle doves, day 2.
And he wrapped her in red garland and left that temporary tattoo, my true love, this time on her right breast.
He refines his method a bit here, too. Her apartment wasn't soundproof like Mariana's, so that confirms she was gagged quickly. They found fibers on her tongue.
And that need for neatness for sanitation is reinforced. The bathroom was scrubbed clean. He removed every trace before placing that anonymous call to dispatch from a nearby pay slot.
So the common denominator is now crystal clear. It's personally yours.
No question. So Dallas immediately runs Mariana Hawley's match list. 3 names come up: Dorian Marcel, Jeremy Van Doren, and Charles Monroe.
And that name, Charles Monroe, it just jumps off the page at Dallas.
He's a licensed companion in LC. And Dallas knows him. He was a witness in a case that was actually instrumental in bringing her and Rourke together.
Which adds this fascinating layer to the dating service users. It's not just lonely professionals, it's highly trained emotional escorts, too.
Which forces them to look much closer at the service itself.
Yeah.
Personally, yours is owned by Rudy and Piper Hoffman.
They're fraternal twins, 28 years old, living in extreme luxury.
And the whole operation is about discretion. 3 floors in a polished black marble building. The staff are all in these sharp black suits with little red hearts on them.
And Dallas, she instantly picks up on this really unsettling dynamic between the owners. Their closeness.
Yeah, she immediately tags them as lovers. An incestuous relationship that even in 2058 is a huge taboo, and it raises a major red flag for her about the people running this service.
And the pattern just keeps escalating. Victim number 3, Donnie Ray Michael.
And he's a stark contrast to the first 2 women. A sax player living in what's described as a pigsty has ferocious breath.
Right. He also used personally yours. And he even tried to convince Mariana to take a harmless role, so he's clearly not looking for true love.
But the scene at his apartment just deepens the MO. He was on his bed, draped in green garland, his hair perfectly styled, eyes shut, lips dyed antique gold.
The My True Love tattoo was on his left buttock, and around his wrist, a bracelet with 3 birds etched into it. 3 French hens.
And crucially, the report confirms signs of sodomy. This proves what Dallas suspected.
The killer's concept of true love crosses gender lines.
Exactly. He appears to be bisexual, and his twisted idea of love, which is really about submission and control, applies to anyone seeking connection through the service. It's not about physical type at all.
It's about exploiting that one universal vulnerability. Loneliness.
And they also get confirmation on the cosmetics link.
Right. Donnie Ray Michael had, in fact, bought the expensive Natural Perfection line,
But, as Peabody quickly confirms by calling his mother, he bought them as a birthday gift for her.
Which confirms the critical element. The victims don't own the makeup. The killer brings it with him as part of his professional kit. That cosmetic lead is still the most tangible thing they have.
So with 3 victims in less than a week, the pressure is just immense. Time is on the killer's side.
So Dallas goes to Dr. Mira, the police psychiatrist, to synthesize the pattern and, really lock down the profile.
And Mira's profile is incredibly precise. It aligns perfectly with what Dallas has been seeing.
Male, 30 to 55. Highly controlled, calculating, exceptionally organized.
And all the theatrical elements, the Santa suit, the garlands, the grooming, it all points to someone who enjoys the spotlight, maybe has a connection to acting or theater.
Mira also confirms the dark symbolism of it all. Smashing Mariana's tree and angel. It's about destroying purity and innocence.
And strangulation is so intimate, isn't it? It forces this close, dominating contact. And the props, the ornaments, the silver box, she calls them gifts from himself to himself.
It's a show of power. Twisted irony.
But her most profound insight is about why he chooses these specific victims. It's not about how they look or how much money they have.
No, it's because they were, and this is a quote, lonely enough, needy enough, interested enough to pay for help in finding a companion.
They all admitted to the system that they were looking for their true love. That vulnerability is what attracts him.
And that realization means they have to go in. The source pool itself is the weapon. The police have to enter the hunting ground.
Which leads to the active phase. Peabody goes undercover.
And she goes through this incredible transformation. Dallas's eccentric stylist friends, Trina and Mavis, they just completely redo her look.
She goes from her usual crisp, tailored uniform to this lusher, more feminine profile.
Glittery red hair, dark makeup, coral pink lips, a deep pine green dress, and even a little gold-winged fairy tattoo.
Her cover is set up with Rourke's help. She's a security guard at one of his buildings. McNabb, her colleague, is profiled as a computer droid for Rourke Industries.
And she gets in. She successfully navigates the screening at Personally Yours. They even give her hot chocolate and cookies.
The contrast is just bizarre, isn't it? The warm hospitality and the lethal danger she's walking into.
While they're building that match list, the killer is still out there. And this leads to two near misses that really help them refine the profile.
The first is Sissy Peterman. Santa shows up at her door with a silver box, uses the line, "Have you been good little girl? I've got something for you, only for you."
But she's saved, purely by accident. Her live-in boyfriend, Jaco Gonzalez, he's a professional arena ball player, he just walks out of the kitchen.
And the killer freezes. The source says he went statue and then just bolted, ran like a rabbit.
It confirms the profile. He only targets people who live alone. He needs that privacy, that absolute control for his 2-hour ritual.
The second near miss is a ballet dancer named Cheryl Zapata.
Santa comes to her door around 10 p.m., but she won't open it. Not because she's suspicious of Santa.
No, she thinks it's a cheating bastard sending a pitiful makeup gift.
Her own life drama saved her life, but the reason she was even on alert is key.
Charles Monroe, the licensed companion. He'd warned her after Dallas did a remote interview with the reporter Nadine First.
It's a great point of tension. The media leak, which was against protocol, actually saved someone's life because it made people more vigilant.
But despite the near misses, despite the vigilance, the killer finds his rhythm again. And that leads to the fourth victim, Brent Holloway.
And this murder is it's inextricably linked to their undercover op. Holloway was Peabody's second match.
And their date had already ended violently before the killer ever got to him?
Right. Earlier that night, Holloway finger-raped Peabody at the Nova Club, another one of Rourke's places.
And Rourke saw it happen remotely. He intervened, kneed Holloway in the groin, punched him in the stomach. So Holloway goes home agitated and humiliated.
He's found trussed up in silver garland, staring at his own reflection in the mirrored canopy above his bed.
And the fourth pin is there, a silver choke chain with 4 plump birds etched into it. 4 calling birds.
But the scene shows the killer is getting sloppy, maybe frustrated by the near misses, the pressure.
They find white hairs on Holloway's body, consistent with the Santa beard. It's a critical physical mistake.
And his servant droid, Rodney, confirms he was shut down at 22.03. Holloway didn't have any visitors before that. The killer slipped in, but his disguise left a trace.
And this is the moment where Rourke's, let's call it gray area tech skills, become absolutely necessary.
Dallas authorizes him to bypass all legal channels. She knows it could get him arrested, but she needs to know Holloway's history, and fast.
What Rourke uncovers is shocking. Holloway's birth name was John B. Boyd, and it was linked to a string of sealed sexual offenses: rape, coercion.
And his money, his extreme wealth, allowed him to legally buy out and seal those records. He essentially purchased a clean slate.
It just shows you that in this future, justice can be bought and sold.
But the critical link, the thing that ties it all back to the service, is the blackmail.
Rourke finds these regular $10,000 deposits going into Holloway's account.
From the joint account of Rudy and Piper Hoffman, the owners of Personally Yours.
He was extorting them, threatening to expose something about the service and demanding matches and consultations for himself.
Dallas confronts them immediately, and Piper, who's already fragile, just breaks. She admits Holloway was extorting them.
She denies knowing about his criminal past, but she admits he demanded consultations and priority matches.
And then the whole thing just morally collapses. Rudy breaks down, confesses Holloway forced them to pay, and also threatened and molested Piper.
Using their secret as leverage. And that's when Piper reveals the devastating truth.
Her relationship with Rudy is incestuous. She loves him, he's her life, and she's been covering for him, even afraid he might be the killer to protect their secret.
And that explains the blackmail perfectly. Holloway wasn't just taking their money. He was leveraging their deepest shame to control their lives and their business.
The case shifts again dramatically. There's a new attack, but it doesn't fit the pattern at all.
Piper is found badly beaten, severely traumatized. Rudy was out Christmas shopping when it happened.
This breaks the serial pattern completely. Piper wasn't on a match list. She wasn't looking for true love.
And Dallas gets it right away.
Yeah.
This was an act of insurance. The killer knew they were closing in on the Hoffmans.
So he attacks Piper to incapacitate her, make her a victim, and deflect all the suspicion back onto her brother, Rudy.
But crucially, the fifth clue is missing. They search the scene, but the 5 golden rings, they aren't there.
Which means the killer isn't done. He took the pin with him. He still needs to complete his ritual, find his number 5.
So now Dallas has to think laterally and fast. She links it all back to the Natural Perfection Cosmetics line.
Right, the expensive products he brought to every scene. She revisits the All Things Beautiful salon, which uses that product line a lot, and she confronts the manager, Simon Lastrobe.
And Simon's reaction just confirms everything. He immediately confesses this incredibly close relationship with Holloway. He says, I'm his consultant. No one, not even a spouse, is more intimate.
The salon, the cosmetics, the intimate relationships built on trust and physical enhancement, it all fits Mira's profile perfectly.
The final pieces fall into place very quickly after that. Eve and Peabody search Simon's locker.
And they find it all. The balled-up Santa suit, shiny black boots, disinfectant, and the tattoo templates for My True Love.
Simon Lastrobe is the 12 Days of Homicide killer.
And the motive, when it comes out, is just horrifyingly personal. It ties the whole Christmas theme together.
Piper wakes up in the hospital, and she's coherent enough to scream, Simon, don't. She confirms it was him.
Then Rudy reveals the backstory. Simon was obsessed with his mother, a failed actress he saw as his true love, and a saint, but also
a whore who used men.
And here's the core of the whole ritual. Simon's mother, this idealized fowl of love and deceit, she hanged herself with garland on Christmas morning.
And that explains everything. The Christmas garland, the smashing of the tree, the focus on true love. It's all him recreating and controlling that final destructive moment, using other people who are also looking for that same idealized and maybe fraudulent love.
And his background, a double major in cosmetology and theater, a perfect match for Mira's profile of the calculating performer.
So the climax begins on Christmas Eve. Simon, who is just emotionally unraveling after the Piper attack, he actually went back to her apartment to clean up.
That need for order again. He even slept in her bed where he'd raped her. It's vile.
Meanwhile, Dallas and Feeney are reviewing the recovered murder video of Mariana Hawley. They time his routine. 33 minutes and 12 seconds. Start to finish, he's a disciplined monster.
But the killer knows he's caught, and he makes one last terrifying, selfish move.
He ambushes Peabody. She was still on his active match list. He gets her as she's returning to her apartment and uses this potent sedative on her.
This triggers just immediate protective fury from Dallas and Rourke.
They track him using Peabody's communicator and find him in her apartment, cutting her clothes away. The sirens are minutes out, but Dallas can't wait.
And the final takedown is so deeply personal for her, she dives out a window onto the fire escape, bypasses the door completely.
And she intentionally uses her hands, not her stunner, not her weapon. This choice, it's fueled by her own past trauma. She just beats him.
She does. She beats him until he curls into this pathetic little ball, crying for his mother. Justice is delivered physically.
So the case is closed, but the emotional cost is just immense. Feeney takes Simon into custody.
And Peabody's okay, shaken but physically safe. He was interrupted before he could finish, and you see McNabb just holding her, this protective fury in him.
Dallas herself is shattered. She's haunted by the video, the smell of the killer on Peabody. She just collapses and needs Rourke to hold her, to force her to let go.
This case just hit way too close to home for her.
And Rourke's role through all of this, just relentless support, isn't it? Often illegal support.
Drugging her to make her rest, risking arrest to dig up Holloway's sealed past, and just loving her, as the notes say, outrageously.
He's the anchor that lets her do what she does.
Yeah.
And you also see this tender connection finally blossom between Peabody and McNabb.
His fury when Holloway assaulted her, his worry when Simon attacked her, it solidified things.
Yeah. Their quiet trauma bonding after the arrest is this necessary little moment of light in all that darkness.
And Eve has this final, quiet reckoning with herself. She was afraid her injury had made her weak, that she couldn't do the job anymore.
But she realizes she grew her own way. She didn't pull the trigger on Simon. She chose her hands, this visceral human response, over an impersonal execution.
The technology was central to solving it, but really it just provided the path to the victims and the tools for analysis.
Right. Simon's video journal confirmed his pathology, and Rourke's analysis confirmed he paid for this expensive, custom-made case for his professional kit.
It's all about his theatrical self-obsession. The whole case just highlights this profound vulnerability of people looking for connection through a service like Personally Yours.
It's the ultimate heartbreaking irony, isn't it?
It is. The service was designed to give lonely people privacy, safety, a filtered connection.
And it became a hunting ground. A predator turned that search for true love into a mechanism for murder.
The killer didn't seek out flawed victims. He sought out victims who were just honest enough to admit to a machine that they were lonely.
That admission was the final, devastating screening requirement.
Which leaves us with this final provocative thought for you to consider. In a world where technology can screen everything from your criminal past to your emotional profile, is genuine anonymity, or perhaps the honest, vulnerable admission of genuine human connection, the last true luxury?